The Rush Hour with James Golden. Entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Now, however, I also talked to a relative of a young girl who was recently shot in the arm at a courtyard on the 800 block of Yuma Street. And she tells me that she welcomes this new executive order, saying that if President Trump can make the streets safer in D.C., she's all for it. As for that young girl, she had surgery today and she is still recovering at a hospital.
As I said earlier, I'm determined to make Washington, D.C. safe, clean, and beautiful again. It's going to take place very rapidly. Be prepared. And a big part of that's going to include the Kennedy Center. So thank you very much. And I want to thank everybody for helping us. This is mostly the group right here. They're young, they're smart, they're ambitious, they want my job. Someday one of them will probably have it. But we have a great group of people that are putting this together, and they're also helping us with Washington, D.C. We're going to make Washington beautiful. We're going to redo roads. We're going to redo the medians, the pavers, and the medians all throughout the city. We're going to take all the graffiti off. We're going to have to remove the tents and the people that are living in our parks. We're going to be redoing the parks, the grasses and all. We're going to be going to Congress for a relatively small amount of money, and Lindsey and the Republicans are going to be approving it.
Yeah, they're going to approve it, are they? James Golden here with you, Bo Snerdley. Welcome, my friends, to the Wednesday edition of Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour. Fastest hour in American media. I must begin today with, I don't know whether it's an apology or not, but I felt like yesterday I was so emotionally charged yesterday, and I must admit to being angered by some of the remarks that I heard from people that we played, people in the media, including CNN's Dana Bash and others who have been declaring, I've been talking about this for 2 days, that the most violence in D.C. was January 6th. You heard at the very opening, the first clip that we played. Play that again, Carlos, please. Cut 15.
Now, however, I also talked to a relative of a young girl who was recently shot in the arm at a courtyard on the 800 block of Yuma Street. And she tells me that she welcomes this new executive order, saying that if President Trump can make the streets safer in D.C., she's all for it. As for that young girl, she had surgery today and she is still recovering at a hospital.
That's violence. Dana Bash may not realize that when 8-year-olds get shot, their families think that's the most violent thing that happened to them, not January 6th. There's an older woman that we have. She looks to be in her either, I don't want to guess her age because, women age, men age. Women aren't the only ones sometimes that don't want to discuss their age. Cut 14, Carlos. And this woman is a resident of D.C. You can tell that she's a few years old. She admits to, at her age. And this is what she has to say about it.
We need all the protection that we can get in the city because the city is really getting dangerous. A person like me at this age, I have to make sure to come home before sundown.
Yeah, people have to make sure to be in their house, lock your doors. It's like they live in a hell. But some of our national reporters, not just Dana Bash, others that are repeating this line that the only real violence in Washington, and they didn't say the only, that's not being fair, but the most violent thing that they've witnessed was January 6th. They don't go down these streets. There's a woman out, young little nose ring gal out, passing whistles out for liberals have a new phrase now, unhoused. And that's what they're calling the homeless. I've just seen that pop up all over. In fact, the Washington Post today has a big story. DC's homeless begin to see the effects of Trump's crackdown. Many interviewed by the Washington Post expressed confusion over where they would go. What are they going to do? Said one D.C. man living on the street. Arrest us all? No, and that's not the purpose. One would hope not. Many of the others among the more 5,000 people in D.C. without current permanent shelter said they had heard about President Donald Trump's plan to clear the encampments with increased law enforcement and immediately move their occupants out of the district, they expressed fear and anxiety over what could happen, where they might go. At the same time, the White House has doubled down on its rhetoric, targeting the city's unsheltered. Homeless individuals will be given the opportunity to leave their encampment, to be taken to a homeless shelter, to be offered addiction or mental health services, said Caroline Levitt. If they refuse, they're going to be susceptible to fines or to jail time. The city's homeless advocates have come out against the Trump administration's law enforcement effort, arguing that increased policing is not a long-term solution. What is a long-term solution, my friends? Long as I can remember, we're talking decades now. You see the opening line of this. Many others among the more than 5,000 people in D.C. without current permanent shelter. Now, the people vary, meaning that the people that were homeless 20 years ago some of them may not be on the street. Some of them may have been expired from living out in the elements as they do. But if you go, and I talked about this yesterday, if the dots here that need connecting are every blue city in America, every single blue city, every single city run by Democrat Party in America. Find me one that's not. Every major city. When I left back in 1999, closer to 2000, when I left Seattle, I was out in Seattle for a year. Seattle was beautiful looking as a city. It was a little bit, they used the word provincial. I'll put it like this. I've never heard so many racial jokes from liberals. Oh, yeah. Than when I was among these good old provincial liberals in Seattle. In fact, a realtor cracked some joke about Asians, and I just said, well, what happens? Do you start doing the N-word? Do you start doing those among other people when I'm not here? Because I was just offended by it. I went into a store out there, a chain that's like the Macy's chain, Bon Marché, whatever the heck it was. This woman looks at me and says, should you be in here? Shouldn't you be at Target? Yeah, this was Seattle back then, and I let loose on her. I don't think she probably, but I've never been in a city as openly racist as these liberals, these good liberal people in Seattle who just felt free to spew whatever was on the top of their head at a moment's notice. Totally liberal city. But my point is, it was still a beautiful city. The facades, everything. There were some places that weren't as nice as others, but there were places that you would say, wow, you stepped into some kind of fantasy. The last time I visited Seattle was just a few years back, and I didn't recognize the place. There were homeless encampments everywhere. When you walk downtown, the major areas of commerce downtown near the Pikes Fish Market, where everybody, that's one of the big deals besides the Space Needle and all that. Deranged people, and I'm not kidding, deranged, walking up and down, harassing people, the streets. You could tell that a lot of them were drug afflicted. But on the highways, the major arteries connecting Seattle with Mercer Island and all that, homeless encampments. Going further out past Tacoma, that's the TAC in SeaTac, the airport, Seattle, Tacoma. Going toward Tacoma, nothing but people living on the sides of the highways. Neighborhoods taken over by homeless encampments. So then you go down further. We all know Portland is just a disgrace. And you go to California. Look what's happened to San Francisco. Then it's not just the homeless encampments. Carlos, at one point, and this is real, this is not a made-up story. You say it, people think you're making it up. At one point, it had gotten so bad that there were maps being issued to show people the streets and the places to avoid so you weren't stepping in human waste that was all on the streets. Disgusting. It was that disgusting. You go to L.A., you're the homeless, you see the pictures out of L.A., you see the homeless encampments there all over the place. Now, Washington, D.C., you go on the East Coast, it's the same thing. Go to Philadelphia. Go to Baltimore. You have the mayor of Baltimore bragging that only 84 people have been killed this year, so it's a good year. Donald Trump shouldn't be trying to do anything because only 84 people got murdered. Washington, D.C., which I've been to many, many times. I can't even count the number of days I've spent in Washington, D.C. I was looking, this young ring-nosed girl that's out, liberal girl. Play it, cut 16, and then we'll take a break, and I'll just end with this for the moment, but I'm coming back to this topic.
All right, it's August 11th. I am outside Union Station in D.C., where folks on the ground are telling me that they are about to start rounding up unhoused people tonight. The folks here at the encampment in front of Union Station are handing out these whistles to give to unhoused folks. That way they have a way to call for help if they are kidnapped by federal law enforcement. So if you're in the area and able to swing by right in front of Union Station, they have tons of these. Bring them back to folks in your community so they have a way to call for help. If you are not in D.C., I'm going to tag Free D.C. Project. They are an excellent organization helping the community here locally. Definitely follow them, support them if you can, and help spread the word, because this is how a fascist authoritarian regime starts. So I will be on the ground in D.C. reporting on the show happening. So stay tuned.
Yeah, she's reporting on the S show that's happening. I happen to know that area very well, and I'm telling you, because I used to walk it. And once you get behind Union Station, you don't want to walk that at night. This little girl out here with a little nose ring, being brave, whistles so that the homeless, if they get kidnapped. Nobody gives these same groups never give whistles to the people that get attacked by criminals so that maybe they can call for help. It is Dana Bash. I mean, CNN's office is near there. I doubt whether she walks her little narrow hiney down that neighborhood after dark by her lonesome. As a grown man that grew up in the city, I had trepidations walking that neighborhood by myself at night back then. And then we're not talking about going to Anacostia. Dana Bash isn't going to show up there. None of these people are going to show up there. You don't dare. Because you know what could happen. Or if you don't know, someone will tell you, nope, don't go there. This is real, folks. James Golden, Snerdley, don't go away. Keep it right here.
The Rush Hour with James Golden on the Red Apple Podcast Network. The Rush Hour with James Golden. Entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
The polling that you showed earlier, combining people who thought crime is an extreme problem or crime is a moderate problem, was 91%.
Yeah,
so that is,
I totally agree.
So 91% of people who live in a jurisdiction think it's a moderate or an extreme problem. This is not a figment of anyone's imagination. This is not mass hysteria. This isn't, some, collective hallucination. It's real. People who live there know they aren't safe.
That, of course, the magnificent Scott Jennings, who never fails to take it home on the Abby show, no matter what he's up against. 91% of people in the Washington, D.C. area, 91, crime is an issue. 91%. And yet you hear this fuss from Democrat leaders and from their journalist allies. James Golden, fastest hour in American media. We've got more to go. I have a question for both Carlos and Jonas when we get back. I'm stumped with a definition of something pertaining to this crime business. So hang on, don't go away.
The Rush Hour with James Golden on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
This episode is brought to you by Wayfair. Podcasts follow us everywhere. Whether you're cooking in the kitchen, chilling in the living room, or pretending to fold laundry in the bedroom. And with Wayfair, every one of those rooms can tell a story of its own. Their curated collections of furniture styles and prices make Wayfair the trusted destination to turn your home into your happy place. Shop everything home at wayfair.com with free and easy delivery straight to your door.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
You're tuned into Auto Intelligence, live from Auto Trader, where data, tools, and your preferences sync to make your car shopping smooth.
They're searching inventory.
Oh, yeah.
They find what you need.
They're gonna find it.
You can make a budget for your wallet to help you succeed. Pricing's precise and true.
So true.
It's smarter car shopping.
Ooh.
Just for you.
Oh, it's just for you. Ooh. Find your next ride at autotrader.com. Powered by Auto Intelligence.
The Rush Hour with James Golden. Entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
1992. Neil Diamond heads to Madison Square Garden in New York, which was then not square, it was a circle. Anyway, 6 sold-out nights straight at Madison Square Garden for Neil Diamond. Through the southern border, without any papers, when Joe Biden was in office anyway. Okay, so really quickly, ladies and gentlemen, let's revisit that quote that I keep, 23, Carlos, and then follow that immediately with the other one, with Mr. Jennings, please. Dana Bash first.
The most violent moment in recent history in D.C. was January 6th. And it was an attack on the United States Capitol by a lot of people who were doing it in the name of Donald Trump. And it included, the people who were hurt included members of law enforcement.
You know, a few months ago, I was in Union Station and saw a body hit the floor at the bottom of the escalator in Union Station because there was a murder right in front of me. Up on the second floor, I was going to get a tie. And I heard the shots and saw the body hit the floor. So I've been listening all day long to people trying to make some argument that Washington, D.C. is a safe place. It's not a safe place. And we can argue about statistics and numbers. There's a police commander right now on suspension because there's some allegation that the statistics have been altered. But we can argue about that all day long. Nobody in their right mind who lives there or visits there on a regular basis would tell you that Washington, D.C. is safe, and everybody who goes there knows it, and everybody who goes there knows it. So is there really going to be a resistance to have any kind of people on the street just looking out? The kid that worked at the White House, when he got jumped by the 10 kids in the street gang, it was only because 2 cops saw it that he was able to escape.
And we still need the public support. So coming out in such an aggressive manner could actually backfire on us.
That's an interesting point.
I will just point out that the head of the D.C. Police Union, here's a direct quote, "We completely agree with the president that crime in the District of Columbia is out of control and something needs to be done with it." So it sounds like to me, among the rank and file, the president has some support from the cops for doing this today in Washington.
No, we do need the support.
I think what happens to D.C. police on a rolling basis, I think what happens to cops on the most violent cities in America on a rolling basis is a disgrace as well. I think what the president is responding to today is what can I do today? D.C. is the only city I really have control of, so I'm going to try to give them some support. He's getting a note of confidence from the D.C. police union. I suspect if they did things in other cities, other police unions in those cities would also offer some support. And so what I would simply say is that all you can do is hit the next shot. And the next shot right now, I think for a lot of Americans is what can be done today to reduce violent crime and to make me feel safer in my neighborhood. I think he's going to get a lot of political support for the idea that the federal government's getting a little more muscular when it comes to cracking down on violent criminals.
All right.
Now, however, I also talked to a relative of a young girl who was recently shot in the arm at a courtyard on the 800 block of Yuma Street. And she tells me that she welcomes this new executive order, saying that if President Trump can make the streets safer in D.C., she's all for it. As for that young girl, she had surgery today and she is still recovering at a hospital.
Which brings me to this point. I rarely talk about other radio shows because, frankly, I don't listen to many. I'm too busy preparing for this one and doing the necessary work behind the scenes. But I came across a story today about that guy that calls himself the God, Charlemagne, the God. And apparently they have a segment on his show called Get It Off Your Chest. And a caller called in and praised Donald Trump's crackdown, and he suggested that the host of the show were playing down what really is happening with all these juvenile crimes that have sweeping blue cities across the state. And this is where I need some help. So I've asked Carlos and Jonas if they, is this a what, Carlos? Is this?
It was funny because you coughed and then you said Jonah's name, but keep going.
You asked me if this is this a what?
Oh, my bad. Yeah, whenever you say something about a question, because of my poor knowledge in music, I always think it's it's a trap, like something you want me to just walk right into and be made fun of on the air.
I don't make fun of you. This audience loves you, Carlos. No one makes fun of you. So no, it's not a trap.
I mean, yeah, because I have
I'm highly upset
that
you think that I would make fun of you. I don't make fun of you. Anyway, and Jonas, I'm going to need your help with this too, because I mean, you all are young. You all understand popular slang out there. I used to back in the day when I was young. I don't know what certain things mean anymore. So anyway, Charlemagne was on the air, and the caller says to him, this is a quote, "I'm just trying to basically come to some common sense about this whole D.C. thing. Across the nation, they need to do the exact same thing that they're doing. I'm from Milwaukee, and the YNs everywhere. When you got people like me working hard, grinding, getting to it, paying mortgages, paying multiple things, tenants, kids in school, why should we be disrupted by a YN that ain't got nothing going for theirself? Y'all need to show some common sense when it comes to these stuff that he's trying to put in place, man. I don't agree with everything, but guess what? This is common sense, man. Y'all know it's bad out there, but y'all need to speak to that. Sometimes y'all try to avoid that." And and then so Charlemagne asked the guy, y'all just don't like our solutions. I don't think we need to live in a police state. Can we try giving some of these little YNs some resources? Can we try putting these kids in trade schools, giving them some proper mental health services, making the schools better? Can we make sure they got some food in their stomachs so they don't have to resort to things like crime? Can we try that first? Because there's a lot of people in communities that are down to implement things like that, but they need the funding. So here's my question to both of you. What are YNs?
I don't think we could say that on air.
Excuse me. See, first, I thought that they were maybe talking about Hawaiians, because that's when I said YNs, that's like Hawaii 5-0, YNs. But I was like, I never heard of YNs. Carlos, you're sitting there with a puzzled look on your face. Carlos, what are YNs?
I don't recall.
You mean you knew but you forgot?
Probably, yeah. On the way from, I probably forgot on the way here.
I think he means he doesn't recall for air.
I'm curious.
He cut me off.
What could it mean? Help me with this. Let's go back and examine this sentence one more time. And come on, guys, I need some help.
Okay.
So the guy says to Charlemagne,
Okay. May I?
You may what?
Okay,
yes.
okay. I mean, YN is exactly what anybody would think it is, but we can't say on the air, but people use it, an alternative word, which could be brothers, referring to black people.
Wait, I'm confused by your explanation.
People
here.
Use an alternative word to describe what that kid wanted to say to Charlemagne, which is brothers, and they mainly refer to black people.
So you're telling me this YN thing has something to do with race?
It has everything to do with race, like straight up.
Everything.
100%.
So, and everybody knows what this means, apparently, except for me.
You don't listen to rap, you would know.
If I listened to rap, I would know what it meant.
Nowadays, yeah. Mostly rappers from Atlanta, yeah.
Rappers from Atlanta mostly use YNs, and they're not talking about Hawaiians.
Yeah.
I'm surprised TJ doesn't know.
Well, YNs. And so everybody knows what you mean when you say YN. Okay. Because I was going to ask Princess Di, but I didn't think she would know. I was going to ask Lady Benedict. I didn't think Lady Benedict would know.
Stay away from that question.
I was going to ask Dana Bash. I was going to send her an email. Hey, Dana, what's a YN? I was thinking about asking Rhonda, America's small caffeinated mom, Rhonda Schrock, because, she has 4 boys, and they're still young. I was going to ask Rhonda, Ron, what's Rhonda, babe? Babes, what's a YN? Is that like a YN? A YN? No. So, again.
I don't know. She seems like
who was that just passed? Was that Flippin that just passed the door?
Yeah, it's
Call Flippin. Let me ask him if he knows. Hey, Flippin. Hey, James Flippin. Always good to see you, bro. Flippin, I got a question for you. You're in the news business. You ought to know this because I didn't know this. Mm-hmm. There's a story, Charlemagne, some caller called Charlemagne who's got his undies in a bunch about Trump DC thing. Anyway, and he says, this guy said he's from Milwaukee. The YNs are everywhere. You got people like him working, grinding, getting to it, paying mortgages, paying multiple things, tenants, kids in school. Why should we be disrupted by a YN that ain't got nothing going for itself? Flippin', what's a YN?
A young, nice person.
Oh! A young, nice person. TJ, what's a YN?
Young N-word.
Oh, what?
Well, I've never heard of such a thing.
Yeah, me either, James.
This is outrageous.
It's totally outrageous.
My word.
Oh, and they let this on radio.
As long as you only keep it at YN, it's all good.
It's all good in the hood. Oh, my friends, we're going to take a slight break here because we want some time on the other side. I have to talk about this redistricting. Thank you for clearing that up. It took... I had no idea. I'm reading this thing. I'm like, and you don't want to be disrupted by a YN. I'm like, what the hell is he talking about, a YN? Hawaiian? Well, I don't know. Folks, we learn something new every day here. Summer in the city. James Golden, Snerdley. Don't go away.
The Rush Hour with James Golden on the Red Apple Podcast Network. The Rush Hour with James Golden. Entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
folks, I'm all gonna. Hopefully, Princess Di is going to be on Saturday because I feel like half of my brain is missing. I haven't heard what she has to think about some things, and it disturbs my consciousness. Anyway, Beto O'Rourke is among the unhinged. Last night he was with Pritzker. First of all, Pritzker has some nerve. You know, this Doge employee was beaten. They tried to beat the boy to death down there in D.C. I don't know. Was it YNs? I don't know. Anyway, cut 5. This is what Pritzker had to say about him. This is the only thing he could say.
Our federal workers don't deserve to have some 19-year-old Doge bro called big for their careers.
So, I mean, just the guy is still recovering from being beaten up. And so you have the governor, this bully in Illinois it was the Illinois Democrats County Chairs Association. Beto was there. Let's pay 1 and 2 back to back. Actually, yeah, both of those, 1 and 2. Beto O'Rourke. Mr. O'Rourke.
I also don't want Gavin Newsom and J.B. Pritzker and Kathy Hochul and any other Democrat who has unitary power in their state to wait for Texas to go first. I want us to seize the initiative instead of awaiting the punch thrown by these would-be fascists to hit us in the face and then respond. I want us to punch first, and I want us to punch harder. So I want them to redraw those districts right now. We are in a basketball game right now, if you'll excuse the metaphor, where the refs have left the arena. And the other side is just clobbering the out of us, just punching us in the face, kicking us in the nuts. And we're kind of throwing our hands up and we're asking the crowd, the people of America, hey, do you see what's going on here? This is unfair. This isn't the rules that we agreed to play by. Well, who cares about the rules right now? Punch back, kick back, dunk over their heads, and win some power.
Who cares about the rules? Democrats don't. Now, O'Rourke was on PMS NBC. Cut 3, he said this.
This is a criminal enterprise being run out of Washington, D.C. and Austin, Texas right now. You know, Joseph Goebbels infamously in the Third Reich said one of the best political tactics is to accuse your opponent of that which you are guilty of. And so that's what they're doing right now. And yes, Texas sees through that. Texas is going to stand and fight. And ultimately, I believe Texas, the real people of Texas, are going to prevail.
Really? Let's check in with some of the real people of Texas. You know, the Texas Democrats are still out. Tomorrow's their last chance to show up for this session, and I doubt whether they will. Governor Abbott says he is going to immediately call another one. But State Representative Gene Wu, Democrat of Texas, cut 19, Carlos, we had this yesterday, didn't have a chance to play it, but I want you to hear from these Democrats in Texas, their big leader, Gene Wu.
But there is no other choice. Just like we had no choice but to leave Texas to stop this corruption, other states, we're telling them, you have no choice now. You have to do this distasteful thing, or our democracy, our nation, the American dream is gone. It's toast. It's over.
So, Gene, based on what you're saying, should we anticipate that this is going to go on for another couple of weeks with Texas lawmakers, Democratic lawmakers, staying out of state and breaking quorum?
Yeah, we're doing our absolute best to hold on, and it's not easy. And like you all said before, we have lots of expenses, lots of fees. People are calling in bomb threats. People are threatening to use FBI on us. They're harassing our families back in Texas. They're trying to break into people's houses. They're trying to do all sorts of things to try to get us. This is a lot of stress on not only us, but on our families and our loved ones. We're not Republicans. We're not wealthy. Most of us are working class people, right? And there's members who they live paycheck to paycheck. And that's the reality for most Americans.
Well, enough of that. We'll finish this tomorrow. If you live paycheck to paycheck, pal, do what most of Americans do that live paycheck to paycheck, and even many who don't. Show up to your freaking job. Stop whining. Oh, there I go again. I'm starting to get out. Calm it down, James. Calm it down. We got to go. May God bless and protect each and every single one of you, your families, your loved ones. Love and gratitude always, my friends, for you being here with me, allowing me to be with you on this, the fastest hour in American media. God willing, we are back tomorrow. There's so much more to talk about with this redistricting thing. So hopefully you'll be with us, and hopefully I'll be here too. In the meantime, my friends, I bid you adieu. Bye.
Thanks for listening to Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour. You can hear Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour weekdays at 4 on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?